So the next thing I'm gonna do first again is save this as 010, and now I'm gonna focus on the sphere of the head itself. So basically we have this kind of sphere, we won't need the entire sphere, so what I can do is select this one and select this one as well, press Alt and Q and go in front view, and I'm just gonna hold shift and rotate by 90 degrees to create a copy of it. I'm just gonna create a copy. I don't want an instance because I'm gonna change the polygon numbers of this one on the segments. So I'm gonna press OK. I'm gonna go in move selection, in move mode actually, and then I'm gonna press align again on the sphere. Wait, I haven't selected the right one, so nope, that's not the right one. It's this one. So I'm gonna go and align, and I'm gonna hit OK, and now I can start to scale this outside. And now I can allow myself to rotate it just like this. You can see that anything fits kind of okay, but right now for this kind of a neck piece, those kind of elements are a little bit too little. So I want to add a few more segments, probably 16, 18. Also, yeah, I'm gonna leave them to 18. So now I don't need the bottom part of the polygons. So what I can do is select this and grab this one, press Alt and X, and I'm going to convert this to poly. Go to vertices and select all the bottom, actually go in polygons and select all those bottom ones, and now just press delete. The reason when we do that is we won't use the bottom vertices of this thing. So if I exit the isolation mode, you can see that the geometry gets inside of here, so I don't have to worry that much about it. And I'm just gonna leave it like this, and I'm gonna unhide all, and it will ask me, do you want to unhide all objects? This will unhide all objects. Do you want to unhide all layers as well? And I'm gonna press no, because I want to unhide anything that's inside of my layer so far. And you can see that we have some of those pieces done already. And the next thing I'm going to focus is actually this one. So, or I'm going to start actually with this one, because it's going to be very easy to remake. As you can see, this is a mesh that's smoothed. If I toggle this off, you can see that we have this mesh. So what's great about it is the vertices themselves are on even space. This was created as a box. I'm going to show you how actually it was created, and I'm going to show you how very quickly we're going to optimize it so we can use it. Sometimes it's very good to know how to optimize stuff you have from high poly pieces in order to make them low poly. So this was done by, this mesh was probably a box, and then all the edges were selected and they were chamfered, and you can see that this was created like this, like an effect. And then what they did was they selected all those edges and they chamfered them one more time. In this case I did this with the robot, but if somebody else has did it, it's good to have an idea how this is done. So the result that was achieved was something like this, and we have the same effect here. So a quick way to fix this is, instead of having to do a low poly on top of it and how you chamfer it and match it exactly like the other one, I'm just gonna select this one. I'm just gonna go and edit, and then we're gonna clone it. We're gonna make a copy, and I'm gonna press Alt and Q for a second just to isolate the copy. Now I'm gonna convert it to poly, and now the new poly, I'm just gonna select vertices, and now I'm gonna press Ctrl and A on the keyboard to select all the vertices. So right now, if I just right click and go to weld option, you can see that I have weld threshold. So right now it's 0.01 centimeters, and if you're using my scene with this mesh, you're gonna have the same centimeters as value or whatever amount or units you use. So if I start to increase this a little bit, you will notice how those all are gonna get welded, And this is exactly what we want, because since this was chamfered, this is a very quick way of optimizing this mesh. So that's how we quickly sort of retopologize or fix it, a piece that's already done, and we've optimized it in a way that it will get good normal maps and so on. So I'm gonna apply the same blue material to it. I'm gonna scale it just slightly, one idea. I'm gonna go and scale and probably just drag this a little bit up, just like this. Not much, I just want to have a little bit of space between all those things so they can get properly baked. So I'm gonna hide this. No, actually I'm not gonna hide it. I'm just gonna leave it. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the bottom part. I'm gonna grab this one and make a copy of it. It's gonna ask me to make a clone, and I'm gonna click OK, and I'm gonna hide it again by Alt Q, just isolating it. And now we're gonna convert this to poly, select all the vertices, and do the same thing with weld. And here we can see the polygons before and after, and I just want to drag this when we get to the point where we have less of them, and when the mount doesn't get that affected at some points. If you increase it too much, it will start to weld all those other pieces, and you don't want that. You just want slightly to increase it until you get to the point where all those pieces are one, and you just have three vertices in this edge, or until you have 24 edges in our case. So I'm gonna click OK, and I'm gonna apply green material to it. I'm gonna exit the isolation mode, and probably for this one, instead of having to scale it, I'm gonna show you another trick how you can do it. You can apply a push modifier on top of it, and just drag this slightly outside, just like this. This is the other way you can achieve a similar result. So I'm gonna convert this to poly. I'm gonna leave it like that. And I'm gonna take a look on the leg itself. Here we can do the same thing, probably as well as on the arm itself. So I'm gonna grab the leg and make a clone of it. I'm gonna isolate it, convert to poly, and just take a look. And yeah, it's the same way down here. Just gonna click weld and increase until all of my vertices are kind of the same. I'm gonna click OK. The reason why this was done was to achieve a certain metallic look of it, but it's a very cheap way of achieving it, but it's kind of very effective, especially for very low poly pieces. And now I'm just gonna exit the isolation mode and apply blue material on it, and just a little bit of push. Just like this. And now I can move to the arm, which is done in a similar way. You can see that probably here we won't have the same opportunity to do the same thing, but we're going to cheat very quickly in there as well. In this case, probably here we have to create a similar thing, or we can just try to optimize it, but probably it won't work. But we can give it a try. So now let's make a clone of this first. Isolate it, convert it to poly, and weld it. Just a little, probably 1 centimeter will be enough. And now you can apply the blue material on it, exit the isolation mode, and just apply a push modifier. And what we're gonna get is something like this, which is kind of okay. So I'm gonna convert this to poly. If you're wondering why this gets offset in other directions much more than this side, the reason is this first needs to be exformed. And if I convert to poly now and then apply a push modifier, to be a little bit better. The reason is doing this is when you have scaled something by hand like this, any kind of parameters you modify will not be correct because it will include the scaling that you did, and it will try to scale by 21 centimeters between this space, or push it in this space, not in the proper space. So every time before you want to apply any kind of modifier that's going to push or offset something in real units, you just want to make sure that you have X-formed the mesh itself first. So I'm going to convert this to poly. I'm going to leave it like this, and in our next chapter we're going to move on and focus a bit more on the fingers and the arm.